Michael Gove has said the door for a trade deal with the European Union is still ajar, but what does this mean? Brexit negotiations between the UK and the EU have stalled once again as the sides have failed to come to agreement over fishing. The EU has said it is prepared to intensify talks but added it will not agree a deal at any price. Brussels chief negotiator Michel Barnier was due in London for talks with David Frost today, but the UK said any such meeting was pointless without a fundamental change in talks. Instead, Mr. Barnier will join remotely, as planned, his team said. However, firm Brexiteer Michael Gove told the Andrew Marr Show on Sunday that the EU had effectively ended the current round of talks when its 27 leaders met in Brussels on Thursday to take stock of progress and said more was required from the UK. He said, "It was the case we were making progress but then the EU retreated from that. We have drawn the conclusion that unless their approach changes, they are not interested and they have in effect drawn stumps." Asked whether there would be further discussions, Mr. Gove replied, "It is still ajar. We hope the EU will change their position and we are certainly not saying if they do change their position we can't talk to them. But what does this mean exactly? The word ajar means slightly open, or almost shut but not quite. To use it in a sentence, we left the door ajar so that we could hear what they were saying." So in the context of Michael Gove's comments, the word ajar indicates the UK government is prepared to continue talks on an EU trade deal. Mr. Gove went on to tell Andrew Marr that the UK was preparing for a range of outcomes from their negotiations with the Brussels bloc. This includes leaving on Australian terms, which would see trade between the two partners default to World Trade Organization rules. He said, "That is not going to be a picnic. The key thing is we are taking the steps alongside business to be ready for that outcome." And he insisted the EU speed up the negotiations and offer better terms to the UK, if the talks were to be successful.